They called it the eternal winter. 10 years without a sun, 10 years of gray skies and frozen earth. The crops died, the animals died, and men like Kael were left to rot. He was a veteran, a survivor, but you can't fight the cold with a sword. You can't eat honor. So when the king's alchemist showed up, Kael didn't ask questions. He just looked at the gold on the table. It was enough money to feed a village for a year. The job? Simple. Go to the Iron Peak. Guard the prisoner. Feed the beast they called the World Eater. They said it was a monster. They said it was the reason the snow never stopped. Kael took the coin. He didn't know he was signing his soul away.
Feed it. Do not look at it.
The fortress sat on the edge of the world. Black stone, miles of ice. The wind up there didn't just blow, it screamed. There was no one else, just Kael and the pit. It was in the center of the great hall, a hole so deep you couldn't see the bottom. Every day, Kael lowered a heavy bucket of meat into the dark. He followed the rules. Rule number 1, never speak to it. Rule number 2, never look over the edge. For weeks he stood there in the freezing dark, listening. He expected growls. He expected rage. But the thing in the pit didn't roar. It hummed, a low, vibrating sound that rattled Kael's teeth. It sounded like sorrow. On the 15th day, the storm hit. The winds shook the fortress like a toy. The pulley system jammed. The chain stuck fast. Kael pulled. He struggled. And then he slipped. He didn't fall in, but he was hanging right over the lip. He looked down. He braced himself to see a demon. He braced himself for teeth and fire. But there was no monster in the dark. There was light. A creature of blinding gold and feathers. A solar phoenix. It was beautiful, and it was broken. Massive iron spikes were driven through its wings, pinning it to the cold stone floor. Kael forgot to breathe. This wasn't a world eater. This was a god. The bird looked up. Its eyes weren't full of hate. They were full of tears. It shifted its broken wing, and a wave of heat hit Kael's face. Gentle, warm. Kael realized the truth in a heartbeat. The beast wasn't causing the winter. The beast was the only reason they weren't all dead. It was the source of the sun, and the king had chained it. The chains were choking the heat. The king had stolen the summer. He was still staring when the doors burst open. The alchemist had returned. He didn't come alone. He brought the royal guard. He smiled at Kael. He didn't care that Kael knew the truth. He explained it calmly. They weren't trying to stop the winter. They were harvesting the bird. Every drop of its golden blood was an elixir of immortality. The king would rather rule a frozen graveyard forever than die like a mortal man. The alchemist pointed to a large wheel on the wall. "Tighten the spikes," he said. "Make it bleed or take its place in the pit." Kael put his hands on the frozen iron wheel. The guards lowered their spears. The alchemist grinned. Kael looked at the man. Then he looked at the pit. "I fought for this kingdom," Kael whispered. "I won't let you kill it."
I will not.
He didn't tighten the wheel.
Oath.
He took his wrench and smashed the locking gear. He spun it in reverse. The gears screamed. The chains went slack. The guards rushed him, but it was too late. A shriek pierced the air, not of pain, of power. A pillar of pure, blinding fire shot up from the pit. The roof of the fortress exploded. The ice melted instantly. The alchemist screamed as the light blinded him, and the phoenix rose. It circled once, touching Kael with a warm wing, healing his wounds. Then it flew south. The clouds broke. The gray sky turned blue. For the first time in 10 years, the sun came out.
This is the greatest story I know, and it's important that you listen carefully to understand its true meaning.